All right, everybody, today we're going to work on standard form. Now, again, if you don't remember what standard form is, that's when we have an equation that's in the form ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are all numbers. So, as you see here in this first one, we're in the form ax plus by equals c. So a would be 2, b would be y, and c would be 10. Now here's the way that I would recommend that you would solve this. Okay, we're doing what we're going to call x and y intercepts. We have to identify those. So in order to identify my x-intercept, I need to cover up my y. So I'm going to cover up my y here. So that y goes away. That gives me a one variable question. So 2x equals 10, I can divide both sides by 2. So I have x equals 5. That means my x-intercept is going to be 5, 0. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with our y. So now this time we're going to cover up our x. And we're going to solve. So this time I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And I get y equals 2. So my y-intercept is going to be 0, 2. Now it's great and all, lady, but how do I graph that? Like, that's what we're in right now. We're graphing. Okay, so let's talk about that. We had talked about our x and y-intercepts before. So x-intercept is going to be along my x-axis. Y-intercept is along my y-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and plot those points. So my x-intercept is going to be over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My y-intercept is going to be along my y-axis, up 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect those two dots. So here is my line that I'm going to draw. Love it. All right, so let's try another one. So once again, here we are. I'm going to cover up my, let's do y again. So now that I've covered up my y, I'm going to divide both sides by 3 to solve for my x. So x I get to be 4. So that's going to be 4, 0. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my y. So now I'm going to cover up my x. I'm going to divide both sides by -4. Oh, got the highlighter there, that's all right. So my y equals -3. So I'm going to put 0, comma, -3 right there. I'm going to plot those points. So x-intercept is over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my y-intercept is down 3. Again, take that straight edge and connect those two lines. And you have a delightful graph. All right, let's try a couple more here. So here, once again, I'm going to cover up my y. That leaves me with 5x equals -20. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So x equals -4. So my x-intercept is -4, 0. Okay, we're going to do the same thing when we go back and talk about our x. We are going to cover that up. We're going to divide both sides by 2. So this one, y equals -10. So that'll be 0, comma, -10. Now we got to take those intercepts and graph them. So my x-intercept is -4. That means I'm counting over 4 and putting that dot. Y-intercept is -10, so I'm counting down 10 and putting my dot. And again, just as we've always done, connect my two dots. Okay, let's try one last one here. So covering up my y. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So that gets me x equals -6. Now I'm going to cover up my x. Divide both sides by -6. So that gives me y equals 3. Okay, so x-intercept is -6, 0. My y-intercept is 0, 3. Okay, once again, let's graph that. So I'm going to start with my x-intercept, counting over 6. Counting down or up 3 on my y-intercept. And what we've always done, connect those dots. Now, some of you may be sitting here like, why does this work? Well, let's talk about that real quick. So when we're just talking about our x and y intercepts, just like you see here with my x1, when I'm finding my x-intercept, that means y is 0. Well, if I were to plug in a 0 for y, I would have 3x minus 6 times 0 equals -18. Anything times 0 is just 0, so that goes away. So that gives me 3x equals -18. That's why we are able to literally just cover them up, divide. Cover it up and divide. All right, guys, that is all the notes that we have for today. If you've got any questions, please let me know. Email me, hit me up, and proceed with what is listed down below. Bye.